how do you combat drawdowns? Because
fight them.
Yeah, how do you fight them? Like, how do you get through them? Because I know me and a couple of my friends or people I trade with, we all trade a similar system, obviously. So we have all went through a period of drawdown there, and it's starting to turn around now. But it's just like when you're going through a losing streak, that emotional tournament is so strong. Like, how do you get through it? What do you do?
I don't know. I don't really think about it. How do you do it?
I mean, I just get through it, but I feel shit.
Why do you feel shit?
It feels like you start questioning your system. Every time you go to trade, you lose. So you just, obviously you're trying not to put emphasis on a win or a loss, but when you keep losing, it gets pretty shit. Mm-hmm. For me, the way I get through it is I'll just continue to zoom out, and I have enough confidence in my system where I have enough data and I can see that. But,
will it though?
Well, that's the thing. That's when you're like doubting yourself, and
yeah.
Sometimes a losing streak can bring up so many emotions in you where then you lose more because you'll start missing trades. Yeah, you miss a trade, you start
I think that's a bigger problem.
Yeah. If you can take like execution blunders, we'll call them, out of your losing streak, yeah, it becomes easier. But then when you're losing streak, if your losing streak's only systematic, it's chill. But then when your losing streak becomes more of a losing streak because you miss trades, you force trades, yeah, you start taking trades out of your system, that's when it becomes a big issue.
Yeah, but that's also what like Edge Wonk has this tilt meter thing. Yeah. That's why it's so cool, because then you can see, all right, am I in a drawdown, or is it just an emotional drawdown where I'm taking early entries or early exits? So that's number one. But also, since we started trading 1-2 trades a day, I do not feel that. I do not look at my P&L a lot anymore. I just feel like one trade you reset, one trade you reset, one trade you reset, and it feels good. And I guess also when we start doing this thing, the NAC, when we celebrate our entries, yeah, that's helping me a lot. I don't feel like I have the same problem with that anymore, with the drawdowns.
I'm still like, not 50-50, but I was talking to one of my friends who yesterday was the first time he won a trade in 2 weeks. Yeah. Now, he didn't have 10 losing days in a row. He had 6 losing trades in a row. Yeah. And he trades 3 days a week, so that's why it lasted 2 weeks. But he was just saying how a 2-week losing streak was like a lot for him. Finally, he won a trade yesterday, and it's funny because he was down 6R, he won a trade, and then he won another trade, so he was plus 5R. Yeah. So then overall he was only down -1. And that was really cool because, it's like discipline, two back-to-back winning trades, I'm only down one unit. Yeah. Like, that's when you're like, oh yeah, unreal. And you're like, my system's built for this. And 6 trades in a row is actually perfect to lose. But when it's prolonged over 2 weeks' time, that's when you start doubting it, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think...
I don't doubt it anymore. Yeah. But maybe that's just, I'm not as invested into... Oh, do you think it could also be a sizing thing though? Because if you trade smaller size, I don't feel the drawdowns as much. I'm more of I would say I'm more of a comfortable trader. I trade smaller size, but if you are trading really big size, like no doubt you're gonna feel it.
Yeah, true. I was gonna say one thing, that the way you said you don't feel it, I think it helps when you talk to other traders about it.
Yeah, release it.
And I think we were talking, me and my mate, in our community, and we were discussing his drawdown and we were discussing my drawdown, and like when you zoom out and you have people to connect with, it just opens up everything. For example, I think his win rate, I'm not too sure what it is, but I think it's between 50 and 60%. And then him losing 6 trades in a row is super normal. Yeah. Now it's not going to happen often, but it will happen. Yeah. And we had to just talk about how that is a part of trading. And literally all I said to him was focus on execution, focus to your risk management, just keep doing what you're always doing, and it'll turn around. And it did. Yeah. Now he's still slightly in the negative for the last 2 weeks, but he's almost back to like a positive month.
I feel like that's a huge confident boost if you can go through the drawdowns. Yeah, yeah. And then come out of it alive and just like, oh, I executed well. Yeah. But for me, I think my biggest pattern was going into a drawdown, starting to trade like shit, fuck all, and then just feeling like shit, and then like, all right, I have to start taking one trade at a time again. But I feel like when we now take one trade at a time all the time, it's like I don't really get to that emotional place.
I think if you zoom out, it makes more sense. Because say, for example, if you look at a 6-day or a 2-week losing streak or whatever, you become overwhelmed. But as traders, our job is always to just focus on the next trade and execute. So if that's your thought process, it doesn't matter that you're in a 2-week drawdown. I know emotionally it's pretty difficult to get out of that, but that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to condition yourself not to get affected by that.
Yeah, that's why we have the journals.
It's why you have everything, I suppose.
Yeah,
you
everything.
have your journal, your community, your
true.
trade reviews, you record your trades, everything. Yeah, that's it. If you're doing everything right, that's the main thing you need to focus on, because the law of averages, it's going to work out in your favor. It's just low variance right now. You're stuck in this low variance where, yes, you've lost a couple of trades in a row, but over time it's fine. Yeah.
You're being tested as a trader.
Yeah.
See if you're worthy of the success.
If you deserve that money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And then when you get out of that drawdown, you feel invincible.
Yeah.
And then you go straight back into it.
Yeah. Short-term ego